bodyweight pull-up variations with no equipment for getting stronger on the one-arm pull-up. What are they, and are they effective when training towards the one-arm pull-up? All answered in today's video, so let's go. Lately I've looked into lots of pull-up variations for one-arm specificity, and today we'll look at the Archer and Typewriter Pull-Up. These are both asymmetric bodyweight pull-ups where you don't need any equipment at all. For the Archers, you want to have a wide grip so you can pull yourself up to one side with one arm bent, that's the one you're loading the most, and the other arm ideally straight for movement and some strength support. The Typewriter Pull-Up is similar to the Archer Pull-Up, but there is one crucial difference, namely that you transition from one side to the other at the top of the movement. You do this by shifting your weight from the one arm to the other by gradually bringing in your originally extended arm and extending the bent arm. Then you do repetitions from side to side before coming down as you would with a set of Archer pull-ups. You can do both Archers and Typewriters on either a pull-up bar or on rings, so whatever you prefer or have access to. Personally though, I prefer using rings as they allow for a more free movement pattern. It also seems beneficial when starting out, as you might struggle with fully locking out the passive arm, especially on the way up. However, rings have a sort of turning effect to them when pulling. So you go from a pronated grip at the bottom of the movement to a neutral grip to eventually a supinated grip at the top. So I'm not yet sure whether this means that rings are a good tool for the first part of the one-arm pull-up movement, the sort of middle part of the neutral grip one-arm pull-up movement, and the top portion of the one-arm chin-up movement, but it is something to be aware of nonetheless. And remember to do an even number of sets, alternating what side you start attacking, as these are asymmetric pull-up variations. As you can see, when I do these pull-ups, I struggle quite a bit with keeping my passive arm straight. And this is despite having quite a strong weighted 1 rep max pull-up. This would suggest to me that there is definitely some value in training Archer and Typewriter pull-ups for gaining more unilateral pulling strength. So even though the path of travel is different to that of a one-arm pull-up, it seems to be a good modification to make to regular pull-ups to better develop single arm strength. However, it's somewhat more difficult to track progress with these moves compared to a pulley system, for example, and it has an overall higher barrier of entry than doing weighted pull-ups or pulley-assisted one-arms. This is because you can start out with any weight for the pull-ups and the pulley, whereas the Archer pull-up and Typewriter require a minimum strength level for adequate form. So what's the difference? Archers versus Typewriters, and are they even effective when it comes to one-arm pull-up training? To begin with, I would definitely say that Archers and Typewriters seem effective, especially if you do not have access to lots of weights or a pulley system, for example. The movement pattern isn't too similar to a one-arm pull-up, and it might be harder to track these and other exercises, but I definitely think that Archers and Typewriters improve unilateral strength. But which is better? Now, after having tried out both Archer pull-ups and Typewriter pull-ups for a little while, I would say that Archer pull-ups are better for the initial pull upwards. During a set of these, you'll do more repetitions from bottom to top, and there is more focus on the pull-up, whereas Typewriters seem to require longer lock-off times and more core activation. Plus, you're spending significantly more time at the top of the movement in this lock-off position. So, if you have no equipment other than a set of rings or a pull-up bar, and you want to do two-handed exercises towards the one-arm pull-up, I'd spend my time doing Archers if you struggle more with the initial pull and the bottom of the movement, and I'd do Typewriters if you struggle more with the upper lock-off position of the movement. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it, but that's the impression I got. So if you want to learn more about a brilliant tool for one-arm pull-up training, click the card right here now, or see what videos pop up after this. But without further ado, thanks for watching the video, and as always, keep on training, train what you love, and I'll see you in the next one.